Well, welcome back to our series on the effective elevator pitch. Today we have Dr. Tamecca Fitzpatrick. Now she's the program chair and a professor in the Masters of Arts of Early Childhood Education and Leadership at the University of Arizona Global Campus. So listen, we're going to bring her in and we want to see what she has to say about an effective elevator pitch. Well, welcome in, Dr. Fitzpatrick. It is so good to have you with us today. Man, our students are in for a treat today. You are in for a treat. I'm just telling you, this young lady is chock full of wisdom, very strategic in what she does and says. So how are you feeling?
Feeling great. Loving this concept and loving being able to share, elevator pitches and to be here with you. So feeling excellent.
Oh man. So listen, I know your time is of the essence, so we just jump right in and we're talking about the elevator pitch. So what I'd like you to do, if it's okay, to think about that elevator pitch and all of its elusiveness and all of its, mystery. And when it comes to your mind, elevator pitch, what do you think of? What do you see? What comes to your mind when you hear that word?
The first thing that comes to mind, Dr. Miller, is probably that it's a 30-second commercial. When I think about an elevator pitch, it is a person being prepared to quickly share information with, let's just say, a potential employer in about 30 seconds or less. So I think of it as a brief elevator ride. So it briefly communicates who you are, what business or profession you are in, what you're looking for, and how you can benefit or how the company can benefit from you. So in the words of Will Rogers, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So when I think of elevator pitch, I think of something that you should remember. You should practice it often. And it is really a persuasive speech that should be sparking interest in who you are and what you do.
Beautiful. I'm loving it. She's already given us a bunch of tips. Already kind of dug into the next question I was going to ask you, which, great minds think alike. But it's when we're talking about so you gave us a real good, I'm going to say, framework of what that elevator pitch is and maybe some of the qualities or things that it must have to it. But if I really want to have a really effective elevator pitch that kind of sets me above and sets me apart from all the other applicants, what things would you say need to occur for it to be, super effective?
Okay. Let me share a visual because I think that's really important. And I think when we think of elevator pitches, we often have the basics. And so when we think about what is just the very basics of an elevator pitch, you always want to start off with an introduction. Who are you? In case the person doesn't know, this kind of depends on who you are pitching to. One of the most important things in an elevator pitch is explain what it is that you want. There is nothing worse than an elevator pitch that doesn't give you any idea of what the person wants. It becomes a conversation. And then lastly, I think it's really important. An effective elevator pitch is going to finish with a call of action. So in terms of, what does every elevator pitch need to contain? These are going to be your basics. But I feel like your audience and you, Dr. Miller, we are always looking for that advanced pitch. And so when we're thinking of what does an advanced elevator pitch look like, first thing you're going to do is grab someone's attention. The way you can easily grab attention is identify a pain point that they're already going to be familiar with. You want to spark curiosity. And what do I mean by that? You want to tell them that you, only if you actually have, found a solution to the very problem that you just identified. Okay. Next, you want to summarize what it is you do. So share with them how you have maybe solved this problem in the past. Give proven results if at all possible. And then the last part really is be ready for more. A good elevator pitch is an invitation for a conversation. It is not an ad or a slogan. You really are opening the door for an opportunity. And so you have to be very specific in identifying what it is, how you're going to solve it, and then inviting more either conversation or an opportunity. Let's say it's a job interview. Let them know why it is that you are the best candidate for that position. And then end with a question that really gives insight into being ready for more.
I really, really like that last point. Be ready for more. Often, especially in today's society where we're so marketing driven, it's like, okay, what happens next? After I grab you, what happens next?
Right.
So it's powerful, very powerful,
Yeah.
very powerful. So I want to see if we can put you on the spot for a moment. If you would, could you go into character and kind of demonstrate for us, or give us a sample of what your elevator pitch sounds like, so our students have something to measure against?
Okay. So one of the notes was I said practice, practice, practice. So Dr. Miller is going to put me on the spot here. But let's say I'm in the elevator with you. We're going to put on the role of you're my administrator. And I'm going to say something else that if we are administrator and teacher, we're probably not in an elevator. We're probably on a staircase. And so there's an opportunity to be winded. We are probably, shorter distance. But I'd say, hi, Dr. Miller, how are you? We met in my interview, Tamecca Fitzpatrick. In our faculty meeting the other day, you mentioned that a number of our third graders weren't completing their homework. Previously, I received a grant and created a support group that collaborated with our after school program. So I and a group of volunteers assisted students with their homework at no additional cost to our families. I wondered if you feel like a program like that would be helpful here with our students. So maybe if you have some time on Wednesday, I'd love to share with you more about that support group and the positive impact that we had on our students and their homework completion. Could we possibly meet on Wednesday before the faculty meeting?
Man, listen, I know that this was just a simulation, but I'm curious, yeah, we could do something like that. That is great. Very, very good. Very good. I'm sure our students grabbed some great nuggets out of that one, especially when you said free, no charge, right? Any administrator, any person that's responsible for hiring, they're going to want to listen, so that's amazing.
Thank you. I think the important thing there really is to have an idea of what it is that you want, because chances are when I meet you in the stairway, it's not a planned meeting. And so if I spend a lot of time and I haven't already identified what problem it is I want to try to help solve, you'll hear me say that previously I applied for a grant. I gave them the nugget of how the financing is coming in. I gave them the piece of who is supporting me. I shared the piece that it is a part of our after school program. So we're not looking to ask for a heavy fiduciary commitment. And then in the end, if I just stopped with that last sentence, then you could easily, as my administrator, say, that's great. But by saying, hey, can we meet on Wednesday? I'd love to share more about this. I think even when you're thinking of your own elevator speech, it's really hard not to want to give all of the information. So think of it as the teaser when you're at the movie theaters and they show you the promos for other movies. They don't tell you everything. They give you just enough to pique your interest, and then they tell you when it's coming out.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for these nuggets for our students. I'm always impressed when I get opportunity to sit down with you and you start sharing all that wealth of knowledge and wisdom that you have. She's usually quiet about it, you guys know. But anyway, listen, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, I was just saying likewise. Always a pleasure to learn from you and with you.
So I don't want to hold you up anymore today. I want to let you go ahead and move on about all the great things you're doing today. But thank you so much for spending this time with us and dropping some knowledge and some seeds into the lives of our students. Listen, you keep making a difference, because whether you know it or not, you are. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, Dr. Miller.